Hey, what's up? It's me, Richard, and I'm here with another video. Today we'll be holding a reasoning with Winsome, who is a certified early childhood teacher. Is that correct, miss?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll be talking to her about the reopening of school, and I'll be giving my opinion and she'll be giving her opinion as to how we can go about doing this thing and doing this thing safely. Right? I know that the ministry has come out, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health have come out with some protocols as to how we'll be dealing with school when they reopen. I think it's September 7th. Yeah, some schools will be doing orientation and that sort of thing before September 7th in preparation for the reopening of school. So we're going to be discussing that on this episode. So tune in, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and of course leave your various comments. Also, I'll be doing a competition in a little bit, probably next week, because as you can see, I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers, and so I'll be doing a giveaway for my Jamaican subscribers, where I'll be giving away some phone credits. So, you know, subscribe and leave a comment and look out for that. So Winsome, do you want to say anything about the reopening of school before we get into the actual questions that we'll be looking at today? Is there anything you want to say?
No, just actually.
Alright, so my first question is, how do you think school will reopen? What do you think the protocols will be when school reopen? How do you think we'll be able to reopen schools?
Well, the Minister of Education have to put preparation in action, like distance of chairs. The student will sit in.
So you're thinking smaller classroom.
Smaller classroom. For instance, if one classroom is to having
usually 45 students.
They're having like 20 students so that they can space. Sanitize properly. Keep a distance, wear masks. Try to teach and try to learn behind the mask, because it's gonna be very difficult, especially to little ones. You have to make sure that the little ones keep on their masks and sanitize their little hands. Keep washing their hands. Keep them distant from each other, because you know them are going to want to go and hug each other. Share food, the toys.
So all of that have to stop.
You have to keep sanitize the toys every time and wash. Teach the toddlers how to wash hands. Make sure the bigger ones, them hand keep clean. If not washing is and sanitize mostly. And coming into the school at the gate, you have to make sure they have the
temperature check and
sanitize and whatever.
Okay. So what about the attendance? How will attendance be affected? Because you have to remember now that schools were not built for people to be far apart. So if you are saying reduce the numbers in the classroom, if we reduce the numbers of students in each classroom, we won't have enough classrooms. So how are we going to? How do you think we are going to offset that? What are we going to do to ensure that every child gets an education, or is it that just only some children are going to be able to go to school? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if it is, for instance, is 10 children, and you can't accommodate the 10 children one time at the same time, you can say, alright, you put them in half and accommodate 5 this week and 5 next week. Or if you can go online with the 5 that at home, you go online with them who cannot understand the computer that well. You keep them, you know, they make them come to school like that.
Okay. Well, as for me now, how I think school will reopen is the first thing I would do is that what I would tell schools to do is to do a week on, week off, but not like how you are suggesting. Well, basically, everybody will go to school every week, but they won't go to school every day. School is still be kept every day, but they'll do 3 and 2. So this week, I'll go to a student will go to school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for example, and Tuesday and Thursday, that student will learn online. Next week it will be reversed, so that student will go to school on Tuesday and Thursday, and they'll do online learning on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right? So that way you get students in the classroom so you can do some assessment and that sort of thing. Because that's the thing. I've seen students in virtual classroom and the teacher is there teaching away, okay, so X plus Y equals Z, and the student is doing something else. They're on their phones or they're watching YouTube videos and the classroom is playing, but that's probably even on mute. And they're just not paying attention. So that is the thing now. How are you going to get the students to pay attention in a virtual classroom? Because most of the time, most students are not going to, and most parents probably are not going to want that either, for teachers to be able to see their students on camera. Because one, probably they're going to be doing it in their home, so they are not going to necessarily want that. Now, as it relates to the sanitization, now that there's probably going to have to be sanitization at the entrance to the classroom. So there's sanitization at the gate, then there's sanitization at the entrance of each classroom. So that's going to have to be the responsibility now of the teacher or a class monitor, somebody allowing students within the class. So when you're coming into the classroom now, then you're going to have to sanitize. Even if you just sanitize at the gate, you have to sanitize when you come into the classroom, because once you leave the classroom, you should be considered infected or whatever. So you need to be sanitized before you come back into the classroom. So, you know, so that is how I think it's going to be is the best way to implement it. But
can I get unlimited YouTube like what Flo has?
No sir. We really don't have that service available here, sir.
I know this is not Flo, but I want what Flo has.
No.
I use lots of YouTube.
No, I can't.
Can I get unlimited YouTube or not? I can't hear you.
That's because I'm shaking my head.
Sure. I'm gonna Flo, yeah.
Only Flow gives unlimited YouTube. Dial *129 *6 number sign to activate. Conditions apply.
no, you mentioned mask earlier. What do you think the policy should be for mask wearing? Because, you know, is it something that you think students should be wearing while in the classroom, or should it be something that they're wearing while outside the classroom but in the school compound? Or how do you think, what should be the mask wearing policy for schools? What do you think?
I think they should wear it in the classroom, out the classroom, until they go through the gate. And probably them are going to ease it off of them face a little bit. But I think they should keep on their mask.
Okay. The mask thing, no. But what about the teachers though? Because you have some teachers, everybody know about those teachers. Those teachers who talk and they show you while they talk, you know, those teachers. How do you deal with those teachers? You know?
I mean by showing.
Well, they're talking, spit is flying from their
the
mouth.
mask is good for them.
but it is very difficult to talk in a mask. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
While you're talking in a mask, it's very difficult. I mean, that's probably the most important time, crucial time for you to wear a mask, but it's the most difficult time for you to wear a mask. So, I think they should be wearing a mask, but each school is going to probably have their own policy. What about the uniformity of the mask? What do you think? Because the government has said that schools should not enforce a uniform of a mask unless they discuss it and everybody decide that is what they want. So even if they eventually say yes, it's going to be a uniform mask, it should not be, that decision should not be made unless all stakeholders agree. So what do you think about the uniformity of masks? Should masks be uniform, or any mask you have you wear? Which policy do you think is best?
If it's gonna be uniform and the parents are going to have to pay for it. In this time with COVID, the financial situation, I don't believe in the uniform. If it's gonna be paid for, if they have to actually, if the school now go just make it and say give it out, and if they have to pay for it, I don't think it should be uniform. It should be can wear them with
regular masks.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because a lot of people are laid off, or they start getting part-time work, or so a uniform mask, and most probably you're going to need more than one. You're going to need that probably 3. One for today, one for tomorrow, and one for the day after. So tomorrow when you come, you wash. Today when you go home, you wash 2 days, because most likely it's going to be a cloth mask. You understand? Some schools, I believe, are selling theirs for $250. I've heard about $350. I think I've heard as high as $500 in terms of their branded masks. So that's an opportunity there for anybody who is charitable. They can go out and offer to mass produce these masks at a reasonable cost to the schools, so they can pass on the savings to the students. Because of course having the mask that match the uniform would be good, because it will be easy to detect students, you understand, in terms of...
Yes, that is true. But if some parents are crying out already, then can't do this, then can't do that. Problem with financial problem, then can't make it. So I don't think everybody going
be able to
buy the mask. $250, and you understand?
What I'm saying, right now, a mask, a generic mask sold on the road right now, you're looking at $200 minimum. You're looking at for a generic mask. Now, that's not much more. The branded school mask that if it can be sold for $250, is not much more. And I know it's a hard time, but uniform.
Engagement, one of the most important keys to help your YouTube channel grow, and also one of the hardest to gain. But how can you gain engagement and easily grow your channel? Meet YT Monster, the leading exchange platform for YouTube. Now you can grow in 3 simple steps. 1. Buy credits or earn them by engaging with others. 2. Use your credits to increase views, subscribers, likes, and comments. 3. Lean back and watch your channel grow. So stop worrying how to get new fans. Make it easy. Sign up on ytmonster.net today.
Because remember,
I don't think the branded school masks are gonna sell for $250. I don't think that. You're gonna sell more than $250. Because remember, it's a school logo go on it, branded. They're not gonna sell it, because normal mask, they used to sell it like half for $300 when them just start. Mask there for $500 because my sister just make a mask for $500 down there. So I'm telling you, I don't think the school masks are that cheap.
So where you estimate the average price for a school
Depends
mask?
on the school, how brand the school is. Some of them are going to want all 600, 700 for them masks. Depends. Because look panel, what is school name again?
Holy Childhood?
Holy Childhood, you have
Queens?
yes, Woolmans, them kind of school they you have what the next school name again? Let me never pass for. Forgot was it another college? I don't remember where school name. But it was a top school because I paid 100 came there. I don't remember the school exact name, but all those kind of school we tried it.
Are going to want.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you have to think about, though, is that when masks were first introduced, when the government said, hey, everybody needs to start wearing masks, one of the problems that parents had was that they could not find masks that fit their kids. You understand? Because most masks were too big for kids. The masks were just, no one envisioned kids wearing masks. So now we need masks that are custom built for kids, that are built with the kind of head size that kids have. So wouldn't a uniform mask
Uniform mask would look very good, as I said before. But some parents cannot find or afford it.
Okay.
Some parents can't afford it. Originally, parents can't afford not even lunch.
Yeah, that's
what
true.
You think on the mat. And sometimes they go want all for a mat.
Yeah, because but that's gonna be something that each school is going to want to, because I think regardless of how we look at it and how we think it should go, I think a lot of school, a very high percentage of school will be pushing for uniformity of masks, because they want to control how their students look, and I think they are going to go for that. I mean, it would be nice if a student could just wear the mask that they already have, but I think that
I think some principal are gonna be like considerate enough to say, okay, if you can't afford the unifying mask, wear a black mask.
Wear okay. That makes sense. Maybe that because it's going to be a policy. The policy is going to be that a mask is better than no mask, and so should the school now be putting students out of the school for not wearing a uniform mask when they already have a mask? So it's going to be, so that's where it's going to be.
For instance, if the uniform are blue and yellow, then just stitch a blue and yellow mask. And
right. Probably using the same fabric
or something.
So okay, that makes sense. Because it just needs
so the principal can be considerate.
Hopefully we see some reasonable principals who will, try and be
people have to be considerate now, because see they're about to lock down again.
And that's going to affect
you're going to pay a whole heap of people, because it gets out of control now. So they have to try to be considerate. People have to be considerate when people, even if you owe them money, and in this crisis, they have to understand, say, wait for you until you have it. You can't just rush people now because there's no money.
There's no funds.
And there's no work. Nobody not take on, for instance, you go try if you go look something like me now. I will try to teach, I'm going to try. I'm going to send out some resume, but I'm going to say, if anybody consider me. Because now is the time when people not hire, and some people are hire for get extra teacher or extra caregiver or whatever, and some not really hire because a problem. For instance, you will say, okay, we have two good teacher. I mean, two college teacher then. All right. Let me get two trainee. Either two trainee or two caregiver or two assistant teacher. I get two assistant teachers, standby teacher. So them have to run around the local children, put them in order because they can be very active. So you know you have the assistant teacher to assist you. But people have to understand, say if the bills is there, you have to wait on the person because this is crisis.
If you have a cough, sneeze, sniffle, fever, flu-like symptoms, or any respiratory illness, by order under the Disaster Risk Management Act, stay at home.
So how will this now? Because like in your field, early childhood, you need smaller classroom, you need more teacher, you need more teachers with fewer kids. So if a teacher could have dealt with like say 20 kids, they can only monitor 10 kids. So that's going to mean that we are going to need more teachers. Wouldn't that provide jobs in that field? And the teacher. And secondly, how will that affect the price now or the cost of these care? How will that be affected? Because more teacher means more pay.
More pay and then less children. I don't know.
Because is that a factor? Like for example, if a person is paying $1,000 per day, how much would you think that should be increased to what? 1,500,
2,000.
So now what we have now is a really bad day because parents will be making less money. But
they have to pay more.
But they have to pay more money
because
of the crisis,
space and whatever. Because when you're normally, if a child without this crisis and the mask and whatever, if a child have a cold and that child sneeze.
The whole classroom catch it.
And you, the assistant or the teacher catch it. Or the caregiver, you catch it because you have to keep taking care of that child. And you have to keep nose of that child. But that child will sneeze on you.
So what you're saying then?
And cough.
See, okay.
And even if you teach them how to cough, I mean, you need to cough like this.
It's not every time they're going to.
When they go home and come back, them cough in your face.
So what about the shields? So we're going to be seeing early childhood teachers wearing shields and aprons and that sort of a thing, and gloves to protect themselves and the other kids. Okay. But
me used to have my aprons.
The plastic apron.
No.
It's a cloth one.
Cloth apron, we still have it.
Say hello to Ruby. Introducing the smart new digital customer service assistant from Digicel. Ruby is at your service 24/7, giving you all the answers you need whenever, wherever. Use the live chat feature in the My Digicel app and type, "Hey Ruby," to get started. And now you can also chat with a live Digicel customer care agent 24 hours per day. Hey Ruby, Digicel, there with you.
So what about we have an opportunity. We'll have an opportunity later this month in August because in America, many of their governors say that they want schools reopen for physical learning in August. So when they do that, we can use their mistake as a guide to our reopen. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you can do that to train teachers how to communicate and deal with the local student, then how to deal with them. But I think they should From you have the qualification, from you have the training and some, I don't think a teacher should go and try to apply and get turned down because they gotta need the help.
You're gonna need more teachers.
So say for instance you got have a caregiver or whatever, a teacher assistant. Teacher assistant is supposed to get half
of a teacher's pay.
Yeah.
So what about virtual learning? Because if you leave them, because people are going to work, people are not going to be staying home to monitor kids if they are actually doing what they should be doing in virtual classroom. How will that work? How do you think that will work for kids who are learning virtually? Because there are the platforms, there's Google Classroom, there's Zoom, there's all different sort of applications out there that could be used. But how will people be able to monitor to make sure that people are learning from virtual classroom? What do you think about that?
Virtual classroom.
As in they're on the internet and they're supposed to be in a classroom, they're supposed to be learning, supposed to be following what the teacher is saying.
So the teacher would be seeing them and them see the teacher over the internet?
Right.
And they're
the teacher most probably will not be seeing them. The teacher might be able to hear them. So when they're asking a question, but most of the time,
so they would have the video.
The teacher, they will be seeing the teacher, but the teacher will not be seeing them.
Oh.
In most cases, the teacher will not be seeing them. They'll be seeing the teacher, but in most cases, the teacher will not be seeing them. And then, how would you set up with it? Probably what they'll have to do, what they'll want to do is to set up a camera in the classroom that is aimed on the blackboard, and then the teacher can teach the physical class, and then whatever is taught in the physical class gets streamed to the virtual classroom. So that way, because if it's not done that way, then what will happen is that they need a new teacher, they need a separate set of teacher just to do virtual classroom. And then what about IT support? Who is going to set up all of these virtual meetings? Not every teacher can use a computer. Right? So what about infrastructure? Are they putting in infrastructure to do these virtual classrooms? Or are they planning to do shifts? What are they planning to accommodate all the students? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Some teachers, some parents would say, well, they want teachers to come out the house to monitor their kids. And some left up to say, okay, the children, when they come home, they would try to monitor the children by check the computer, see what's going on. They plan with the teacher to.
So it's basically more work for teachers and parents.
Yeah, because they plan with the teacher to actually say, all right, give me that, fix it that when we go, we can ask these questions, and if not, we know if that child
actually doing anything
or something
in the virtual classroom.
Do you need a simple website to showcase your business? Don't have much cash? Dart Technology is to the rescue. For only $16 US or 2,125 Jamaican dollars a month, or 85 US, about 11,220 Jamaican dollars a year, you can have your very own website today. Get up to 5 pages, home, about us, contact us, just to name a few. Plus 24-hour support and no charge for minor changes. What are you waiting for?
Email us at wpmastersja@gmail.com.
Order now to get your website started. Get a free domain name like rlawrence.tk with hundreds of thousands of themes to choose from. This is for you. But wait, there's more. We link your website with your social media, and with our SEO expertise, we will have visitors to your site in no time. Don't stay hidden from the world. Sign up today. Prices may change without notice. Conditions apply. Call 876-561-1580 or email wpmastersj@gmail.com for further details.
Alright, but so what I've noticed is that since workplaces actually open up back, right? And we see more people at work. What I've noticed is that, because remember there's a order that says, for example, in the JUTC bus, there's supposed to be no standing passengers. And you know, from that law is not being followed to the T. From time to time, there are standing passengers, but then there are drivers who follow the law to the T.
Yeah.
So there are absolutely no standing passengers.
And sometimes JUTC officers come in there and sit down. So they sit down and take in everything, what is going on, to go back and report. So sometimes you're going in the bus, you hear them say, lady, put on your mask or make your mask stay on your face, don't touch your mask or something. When you look, it's a JUTC officers. And you fix up your mask and everybody in. So it's not in all cases they get free do as they like, because they send people on the bus who watch one and then you see some of them writing down and
yeah. So now, when workplaces open, and it wasn't just the essential service or persons going to get the essentials of life. When workplaces actually opened up, well, because even now, when you go to the road, I try not to travel at 8, between 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and about 8:30 a.m. I try not to travel during those times, because when you go out to the bus stop, you're there and the bus is coming and the driver is waving at you. No space. So you can be falling down the bus or trying to stop the bus. They are not going to be stopping because there is no seats in the bus to accommodate you. So they're going to drive past you and you're going to have to wait for the other one. The other one might come and it might be the same issue. So my question is now, how are we going to offset this when school reopens and there's a pool of students? Because remember, not every parent takes the bus. Some parents work nearby in their community and so on and so forth. But you'll have a child taking the bus and their parents don't. So I'm thinking that the commuting public is going to probably double once students are taking the bus again. So how are we going to deal with that challenge in terms of transportation? How are we going to deal with that?
Well, taxis, smaller bus. Some people not able to get. They can't go out as late as actually if you go get the bus because they have to reach work early. So they have to go check on the taxi. They have to go depend on the taxis and our bus, the smaller bus.
Well,
and the smaller bus. Each upside of some people.
Touching somebody.
Yes.
Because the smaller buses.
And then have a mask.
The minibuses, I know for one, they have not gone one less. They have not gone one less. The minibus have not gone one less. You are right next to the person and the person is touching you.
Yeah.
Sometimes a fat person comes sit down right between you and the next person and squeeze it twice. You understand? So really, the only safe place to travel in a minibus is in the front seat. And that's if you get a nice slim girl beside you, because they won't put more.
No, but the thing, and the next thing too, you still have. I know you're alone and traveling in the front seat.
No.
You still have somebody.
You have somebody beside you and you have the driver beside you. But and then so you're thinking that there should be more enforcement of mask wearing in minibuses and
because something in the bus song with you and probably the next person have on the mask. Nobody else, and sometimes that person start to cough and you have to look up in the person's face. And I say, excuse me? Because you know you go cough and sneeze. Yeah.
And then there's no sanitization, very limited sanitization.
You walk with the sanitizer?
No, there's no I've never seen sanitization in any of these buses. Maybe the first early stages of Corona, you saw that because persons when they came to the bus stop or the stop when they came to the terminus, they would spray out their buses and hear out their buses or taxis, but none of that is going on. They're literally letting off one load while taking on another load. So there's no point where the bus is emptied and it is sprayed and sanitized. That is not happening anymore.
But them need to do it now because it gets build up. It start to build up at 900 and what?
920.
20 days. So it start to go up to the 1,000, so it'll build. So they need to start to practice those things. And I don't know why them don't really practice whenever time, they don't preach when them practice. I mean, if me going to the bus and I go actually hold on to the next seat,
the seat.
Me and sanitize my hand before me do that. So me hold on. When we come out of the bus,
you sanitize
me and again and come off because I do the seat don't have that metal and it leaning on metal things. I don't do that. But you have people lean down, they don't care. I need to get up. You say if it didn't spread like wildfire, I think people are more
scared of it because that's what happened when it was spreading. People were very cautious when the Alorica cases were coming out, and you hear 10 and 50 and 100 people catch it today and all that sort of a thing. And then it comes down to mask wearing, right? How are we going to talk about mask wearing, especially like in schools? Because what I've seen is a person will have on a mask, but it's below their nose. And their nose is what's breathing. So your nose is taking in air and letting out air.
Because you must open your mouth take in air.
If you need to cover one place, it should be your nose. Because when you breathe, that's when you pull in whatever germs there is in the atmosphere, and that's how you're going to get it. So if you have on a mask and you only cover your mouth that is closed, then you're defeating the purpose of wearing a mask. You understand? And if you are going to have on a mask, and then a lot of people what I've seen them doing, which it don't make no sense to me, they have on the mask like in the bus, and when they come out of the bus, they take off the mask and they're molesting the mask, putting it in their bags or their pockets, right? And then they don't do anything to their hands, and their hands go in their face. You're essentially undoing everything that the mask just did. And by touching the outside of the mask and then touching the inside of the mask, then that mask is no longer sanitary. So you putting it on their face back after that. You are potentially you're supposed
to spray the mask after taking it off so that you can put it on back. And you take it off from your ears. You hold it like this and you take it off from your face. And hold it together and probably put it in a handbag or something. Put it on back. You spray it and then put it on back. Yeah. But they're not doing that.
So clearly there's going to have to be some education as to how to deal with masks. We need more education as to how to wear the mask.
Yeah, because enough people not wearing it good. They're not cover them nose. I'm tired of hearing the Prime Minister say cover nose and mouth with mask. Put it over your nose, cover. In preach that every day. What? That's what I tell them. How dull. Someone dumb.
The coronavirus cannot move around by itself. If we control our movement, we can control the spread. If you do not have urgent matters to attend to, stay at home. If you have a cough, sneeze, sniffle, fever, stay at home. Flu-like symptoms or any respiratory illness, stay at home. If you do not have urgent matters to attend to, stay at home. By order under the Disaster Risk Management Act, stay at home. If you must go to the market, make a list and shop by it. Do not stay longer than necessary. Make a list and shop by it. Avoid touching surfaces. Avoid crowds and standing close. And use a mask or a scarf to cover nose and mouth. If you have a cough, sneeze, sniffle, fever, stay at home. Flu-like symptoms or any respiratory illness, stay at home. Tan at your yard. By order under the Disaster Risk Management Act, stay at home.
So, but a lot of people are not convinced that there is even a coronavirus. A lot of people think that this is a big conspiracy, that apparently every country in the world has come together to do. So a lot of people are not they outright refuse to wear a mask. They say it's a big conspiracy. And I'm saying, why would countries conspire to to say that there's a virus when there's no virus, and they can't even decide what shape a outlet should be, right? Or whether they should keep eggs cold or hot. They can't decide that. So how did they come together to do this conspiracy, and what will be the purpose? Furthermore, if say this is a conspiracy, yes, cool. But if there's even a slim chance that there's an actual virus out there, wouldn't you prefer to not contract that virus? I mean, it's in a way it's a breach on your liberty in terms of you are having to wear a mask. But it's a small thing to give up just in case there is a virus. And I'm not saying that there is not a virus, because there is, and I don't want to catch it so I can prove that there is. I don't want that. A lot of persons is like they want to catch the virus to be able to prove that yes, there is a virus out there. You understand? I don't think that that's really a smart thing to do, right? So you have a lot of persons now resisting the wearing of the mask, or they only put on the mask when they're going into places and they're or when they're going in. But
I think they say it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
Yes, it is uncomfortable, but your one good it is for.
It's for your safety.
And the other day when you couldn't go out in the atmosphere because there is
the dust.
The dust and all these things, and if you wear your mask and catch your eye burn and your throat, and you understand? People not, and you look at your talk, and those people always depend. My child is giving me pre-problem. But when it comes down to it, them don't have no manners, they don't have the behavior neither. So what do they expect the poor child to do?
Giving problem. So one of the two more things that we're gonna talk about right now in terms of early childhood is wearing a mask inside early childhood for the students. And play. How will play be affected? So let us start with wearing a mask. How do you think we should do that? Because are we going to get 2 and 3 year olds to actually wear a mask? Are they not going to say, man, I mask not feel comfortable?
You have to try and teach them about the mask, and their mother or father have to try and teach them about the mask. And tell them, you can't hide it from them. And once I tell them, they will wear it.
So
yeah, they will have that discipline about them, Some of them will take it off, and you are like beg them to put it on. And say you're not to make anybody sneeze on you, you're not to make anybody cough on you. You cough like this. Yeah, teaching them is good. You have to try and teach them cough in your elbow. Use your hand sanitizer. They will do it.
What about babies? Babies under 2 year old.
Well, I don't the babies because
they don't understand.
They don't understand.
So
if they're gonna take it off.
If you put it on their face, they are going to take it off.
I see a little baby, and when I look the mother in mask, and when I look, I see a little beanie mask on her face, and she have it on, she look all about. And I said she must feel uncomfortable, and she have on her mask. One time I think the mask kind of lift from her face, and mommy, and she put on back her mask because she know, because I think the mother keep teaching her. Right. You have to teach her.
And it's not only about the teaching, it's also about the size appropriate mask, because if you put on a huge mask on their face, it's going to be more uncomfortable than a mask that is made to fit their face. Don't you think? If it's a bit, because
no, you need to put on the right size. That's why the dressmaker come into play by stitching masks different size. You have different sizes masks, little toddler masks, etc. You understand? They fit the little face. Little children too, like 11, 10, 9. You know, you have to have them little masks. They fit them, because them the big old masks they hold on their face now, hold properly. Some no understand how to put on them masks, some don't understand. Big people don't understand how to wear it.
Okay. So what about play? How will play be affected? Will kids be able to play? Some parents on the news said they were okay with their kids playing with other kids, but what do you think should be the protocol? Should kids be playing with other kids?
If they have animals.
But remember, you know, play is a
you have to touch. I mean, I know the part that go.
It's a right.
You actually have to touch, and it's a right.
The children have a right to play.
But the thing is, I think they're gonna be caregivers watching them and make sure.
So, can you run? Can a child run in a mask?
I think so. Yes. So you have to actually train and teach them how. So yes, you can play. Watch them have on the mask and play. You know, you can control the mask, you know. By you do your thing. For instance, sometimes they hear and my son was about to put on mask and me do what me do.
So
I put on my mask again at the cool because
the smell.
Yes, and also probably one of the four probably fly up
in your face.
Yeah, and then contract that. So you have on your mask, and knowing me have to say if me can deal with my thing. And me know when you take me out, in a real.
In a easy.
No.
So we have that issue. We have play, and then what about hugging? Kids are going to want to hug, and they're going to want to interact. What about the sharing of food?
Take their spoon, put it like that. How they eat. You have to teach them how to take off the mask to actually eat the food. That's why I'm telling you. I don't think they should turn back anybody that's try to apply to get, because they're going to be a lot of work. Because you have to train them not to hug and teach them what to do. Teach them the elbow, the foot. So yeah, you have to go keep and tell them. And then you have to protect yourself too. You can up to them.
If you as a teacher gets infected, then you could infect the whole class.
Yes, so if you know you're infected,
these are
you have to
kids.
stay away from the young kids. Me always say to parents, once the child have a cold, and I remember
don't send them.
I remember saying to a parent, and she vexed. Me say your child sick, you have a fever, have a cold, don't carry him to the nurse because the other children is going to affect it. And then, but knowing me, if you know me real good, you know me really.
Can I get unlimited YouTube like what Flo has?
No sir. We really don't have that service available here, sir.
I know this is not Flo, but I want what Flo has.
No.
I use lots of YouTube.
No, I can't
Can I get unlimited YouTube or not? I can't hear you.
That's because I'm shaking my head.
Sure. I'm gonna Flo, yeah.
Only Flo gives unlimited YouTube. Dial *129 *6 number sign to activate. Conditions apply.
Yeah. So what? So they're going to be wanting wanting to do things normally. What about sanitizer? what kind of what should we do in terms of sanitizer? Should we ask parents to provide sanitizer for the school? Should they also be asked to provide sanitizer for their children? How should we be teaching them how to use sanitizer? Because
I think they should have
kids will spray the sanitizer, and then 2 minutes later they spray it again, and they have not touched anything. So they are basically.
But the thing is, I think they should I think they should, if they can, help the school by bringing sanitizer, because overall, when you send out the lists, you write all those lists, and sanitizer, and soap, tissue, all of that, you put it on the list, so the parents supposed to carry them, those things to the daycare or the preschool. And if I look at something I do, and for instance, you have 1 5 or 1 6 picking children, you said to the parents, well, put this in them bag, give them a list, what to actually do.
So you're saying parents should provide a sanitizer to the school, but they should also provide some for your own child. But remember, that child has to travel. So while they're traveling, they need to use sanitizer.
Yes, especially baby wipes, as a farmers. Clean up, and if you teach, you have to also educate that child.
So what about isolation areas? I think that's going to be very important in isolation areas. So if a child comes in and they are normal and they develop a temperature, or they start coughing excessively, or they start sneezing, or they start developing any symptom that might be a bit COVID-19-ish, then you need a place for you to separate that child from the rest of the class. That we that's something that's something that's going to have to be set up.
Yes, and then you have to have a valid phone number, more than one, so that anything like that you just call, and that mother or father have to depend target as a phone call and pick you up quick and say, okay, yes, I'm coming for that child or whatever.
Okay.
Yes, or what. You have to get that child out.
So it will be, let me ask you, it would be the responsibility of the parents to call 888 Love to investigate whether or not that child needs to get a test.
And even if you, the caregiver, call 881 Love or whatever, you still have to contact the parents and say, well, the child in now certain kind of situation, and I call in, so come and assist. You still have to contact the child, the parent. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have a problem when that parent come for that child. And I see that child very, first of all, the parent, me of my institution, or even medical daycare, one little something, we still have a register. Sign in.
Sign out.
Sign out.
What about access to that area though? Are you going to say, okay, listen, parents, you can't come in. You come to the gate and we bring your child, or are you going to allow parents to bring their child straight in? What do you think should be the procedure as to who are actually let into the learning space?
Well, this is a thing where you don't let anybody in. You meet them with their child at the entrance. At the entrance.
Okay, so minimize the amount of persons coming into that space. So it's less persons. So you come
for your child, and you're coming to the front desk. So you gotta have a place where you say, well, your child is
X, Y, or Z.
Peter Gay Brown. So you look up Peter Gay Brown, ask the parents to sign to it, and you stick off the time when they come and take up Peter Gay Brown.
And when they drop off.
And you call out to Peter Gay Brown, Peter Gay, your mommy is here.
You pick you
come, and when she comes, you say, go to your mommy. You have your bag, you have your lunch, what and what. And you make sure so you pack the bag already, and you give the parents Peter Gay Brown. She's not supposed to come take nothing.
Right.
She stand up at the doorway, or the entrance,
Yeah.
And she signed in.
She signed up for it.
And when she signed out, and the time and everything, when she pick up it again, and she go and about her business. No parent is supposed to come and look for Pete again, back and whatever. That's just supposed to in order already.
Jenny, so
you come and pick up Pete again. You're not supposed to come in.
Okay. So what? So it will be a delicate balance between what the parents need to be doing, what the teachers need to be doing, and what the students need to be doing. So what do you think would be requirements now for the students? What will students be required to do at various levels? Because early childhood students would probably be given less responsibility as opposed to
you have to do things for them because they're smart, but you have to teach them.
What about somebody like in primary school or high school? What would be those students' responsibility in this whole process in terms of to make this work? What will they need to do?
You have to do for them, but
would they need to ensure, like if somebody comes in the classroom and they don't sanitize, they need to say, hey, you need to sanitize.
Yes, they need to do their part by working towards it. Teach them how to each other how to
and they probably need to do some self-monitoring to say, hey, don't get too close. Or so what about things like sharing of pencils and books?
Well, in high school, you don't really share pencil because if you go to to do an exam,
but during regular class, should
you have everything. I remember into our exam and we make sure of everything. You have two pencils. Can you lend me? I remember lend a pencil to a young lady, and I'm walking out through the door because me finish first and go through the door. You see the pressure in me. When I turn around and look because the examiner, I said don't look behind or whatever, but I don't know, for some reason my pencil leave behind, so me turn so I look and me see she buttering. Me say she not done for now. And then you can anchor outside because the most say you tell somebody the answer or whatever. So me just leave the pencil behind.
Okay.
Do you need a simple website to showcase your business? Don't have much cash? Dart Technologies to the rescue. For only $16 or 2,125 Jamaican dollars a month, or 85 US, about 11,220 Jamaican dollars a year, you can have your very own website today. Get up to 5 pages, home, about us, contact us, just to name a few. Plus 24-hour support and no charge for minor changes. What are you waiting for?
Email us at wpmastersja@gmail.com.
Order now to get your website started. Get a free domain name like rlawrence.tk with hundreds of thousands of themes to choose from. This is for you. But wait, there's more. We link your website with your social media, and with our SEO expertise, we will have visitors to your site in no time. Don't stay hidden from the world. Sign up today. Prices may change without notice. Conditions apply. Call 876-561-1580 or email wpmastersj@gmail.com for further details.
So what about the parents before we get to this teacher? What will be their requirements in terms of you explain that for early childhood they need to provide the resources that we need to do the sanitization, and that's an extra cost right there.
Yeah, and if the teachers, the caregiver can provide some. And you hear them and look help from the government to help them.
Right.
Because
so probably
money.
The government need to come in and provide a certain amount of sanitization.
And there's gonna be all who know register, do a little something like how me I go do a little something.
Yeah.
If government have to come in, if you can help with hand sanitizer and all of these, they're gonna realize now say you're not register, but they're okay. They could ask the question because they're gonna make sure so your certificate well frame off and hang up in the
But in this time, saying that Okay,
But
you
if
are
you have
not
a little
registered.
something, you can't register.
No, but saying that you are not registered, we're going to lock you down is not really an option now. Because
No.
Right now, we need more daycare, not less. We need more schools, not less, because.
But look here,
we need more spaces.
Your place clean. Let's see the learning process. Can you have learning mat? 1, 2, 3 mat on the floor. ABC mat, because look at children like to go up on the floor. And every time they want to sit around the table, they will sit around the little table that you have. Depend on how little they are. And heat, if it's necessary. But gonna be a time when I'm going up on the floor to sit down and eat.
So that needs to be clean as well.
1, 2, 3, 4. I say A, B, C, D. I eat and them sing. And when you look into the plate, the food done, you can't get them no money for nothing. Because they're not gonna eat it off. If it's nice and they love ketchup and all of that, you won't see any on the floor. But if it's not nice,
so there's gonna have to be constant sanitization of not just the students, but also the environment. You know.
And like when you see me make a spray, like how I make that and come around and spray. So you take out your food odor, you know. And right now we cook, and if you keep the food odor is in. Okay. So when you spray this like this now, for instance, just spray it. You're supposed to
get a different smell.
Because it just cut out the food odor. That's why you see you have them spray here. Some spray, like this where we make. They go what do we call it, like bash corn and place in the kitchen area where they show you so they have the
spray.
Kitchen spray, and so you spray it after tidying up and foolishness feet. And money. So you notice now, you always see me have something to spray the place. That is how you
reduce the odor.
You reduce the food odor. Because tomorrow you will still smell it. And you understand? So
right. So but what about that is for early childhood. What about
me don't know nothing.
What about a student who's in, as I say, they would have to be vigilant and ensure that other students, take the protocol seriously. Right? So they'll have to ensure that their environment is clean and that sort of a thing. And they say the role for the parents, we say that they need to provide the resources, and they also need to be available should their child develop any symptoms, so they can go on and deal with that, right? Because that's not something that teachers will be able to deal with.
No, because I have 10 children, you're not going to run up to 10 children.
To deal with one.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
Can I get unlimited YouTube like what Flo has?
No, sir. We really don't have that service available here, sir.
I know this is not Flo, but I want what Flo has.
No.
I use lots of YouTube.
No, I can't
Can I get unlimited YouTube or not? I can't hear you.
That's because I'm shaking my head.
Sure. I'm gonna Flo, yeah.
Only Flo gives unlimited YouTube. Dial *129 *6 number sign to activate. Conditions apply.
So I'm saying no. Alright. So what about the requirements for teachers and staff? What will teachers and staff need to be doing different now in terms of allowing school to reopen or facilitating that? Right? I mean, earlier we discussed that the teachers will have to be doing smaller classrooms.
Keeping the place extra clean.
Right. And the mask, they are saying, we said that mask should be worn at all times by both the teacher and
the parents.
And the students in the classroom.
And the students, yeah, in the classroom. The parents supposed to wear it also too. Yeah. Because to me, they're supposed to, if you don't have on the mask, you can't enter.
Right. So the mask, so having the mask is important.
It's very good, yeah.
But like the surgical mask that I normally wear, I'm told that is, I get them free from my clients, but I'm told that one of those is $150. One of those, one single one. I'm saying if that's $100.
That one?
Yeah, no, not that one. That one is more expensive. Surgical mask, the blue mask.
Oh, yeah.
The $150. But a cloth mask is like $250 or $300. I'm saying.
But the surgical mask is the right mask, you know.
But the surgical mask is you're supposed to use it.
Yeah,
and throw it away. So I'm saying a cloth mask you can reuse. So
you can wash it.
But
and I have a teacher friend where he said to me, "Look here, me not buying any masks. If me not make one, the surgical mask, these kind of masks, she just hold it like this and wash it. But she know wash it regular, cause you know say me wash it too, you know.
But it's going to
but you wanna wash it,
it's going to be easily torn.
You know, wash it so when me do rub it lightly. Yeah, rub it and then wash it off. But you can just wash it 2 times and you start to get soft, the elastic part. Once you wet it more than 1 time,
the elastic start to get soft.
Yeah, so when you wash it 1 time and wear it again, you just have to throw it out.
You just have to throw it out, so you know that's it.
So you can get 2 use out there, throw it out and reuse.
Alright.
But imagine
are we going to be ending up in a situation where we're going to need to hire more cleaning staff, and then are these cleaning staff going to be inside classroom or classes in sessions to ensure that the classroom remain clean?
But I don't know for the primary, high school and college or whatever, but I just know what I train. And I know my training is very hard. We also trained to do all of that.
To keep the area clean while so
because I used to often know that my institute never dirty. No.
So what about
because there was you wash the kids' toy every 2 days.
Every 2 days?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm
because they like to put it in their mouth. I used to have
in today's world though, 2 days is not going to be good enough.
No. At that time you watch them every 2 days. Now it's like every day you have to wash them.
And probably more than once per day, because once Johnny finished playing with the toy, then you have to wash it before Jennifer decides to play with that toy.
You know that. It will be very hard.
So probably we're going to, like, for 20 students you're probably going to need 3 teachers. So they'll have to alternate. So 2 teachers, 1 teacher will be responsible for 10, the other for 10, and then the 3rd teacher will be doing sanitization, because you would not be able to monitor. Would you be able to monitor these students while you're doing the sanitization, ensuring that the toys
especially
are clean?
Little children have, and the next thing, if the child have a cold, that child can come to school.
They have any flu-like symptoms.
Any flu-like symptoms.
Parents, if your child has any flu-like symptoms, do not take them to school. Let them stay home. Find somebody to keep that child. An early childhood institution is not the place for them.
No, because
school is not the place for them.
You will say to little Sarah, don't hug Marlene. Leave Marlene alone.
And she's going to hug her.
And she's going to hug her. She come and say, you alright? Because she want to know why Marlene sits like that. And it's something they all kiss. Hug each other and kiss. So you know you have to have on the mask and teach a mother, parent, teacher, everybody have to keep teaching them. And once you keep teaching that little mind,
they will learn.
Grab on them,
learn. We have not heard, and this is going to be very important. We have not heard any companies come out and say, hey, we are going to offer big discounts on laptops or tablets. But I think laptops will be better.
The government
I think is trying to get some
tablets to give away.
To the kids. So how should they? I think they said they were going to give those give to part students. What about persons who are unable to afford it, but they are not on path. What about those persons? Because a tablet, for example, is about $10,000, a 7-inch tablet, and then there's also what I've not heard of, like from I think I've heard about mobile plans on heavily subsidized mobile plans on I think boat network. I'm pretty sure about digital. I think it's boat network that have heavily subsidized net data plan, but like you get regular data, like a few megabytes of regular data, and then a whole heap of data for using on certain platforms and certain educational platform, but it's not all of the educational platform. What about landline, which is a more stable connection? We have not heard about that, and that's going to be very important going forward. If kids are going to have to learn from home, because remember you said earlier that maybe some kids who don't have the resources at home in terms of the internet or a computer would have to do full-time in-class learning. But what about how can we subsidize that now? How can we remedy that where more students or more kids can now have the technology in terms of having a laptop or a tablet at least and having a connection to the internet? Or are we going to remedy that? That's something that...
And they still are going to have to do online schooling.
Yeah, because they can't get everybody in the school at the same time. Even if they're using up their auditoriums and inside their churches.
And the thing is, too much children get into one place.
And it's going to be very burdensome. If teachers are going to have to move to shift system, it's going to be very burdensome on these teachers, because instead of having an 8-hour day, they're probably going to end up with a 12-hour day. So they probably have to start school at like 7 a.m. and they're probably going to have to finish school like 5 a.m. That's at 5 p.m. should say. That's what's going to happen if they have to go back to a shift system. And then what about the rest for these teachers? These teachers are not, this is not something that they are used to. They are used to teaching from probably 8 to 2 or 3. So it's going to be abnormal in terms of the hours. And if they decide to go with a shift system, which, as I said, I don't think that's the best, because the afternoon shift will not get the best out of the teacher, because the teacher would already be tired. They'll already be running out of steam by the time they are supposed to be doing their afternoon shift. And probably they are going to be saying the same thing that they said this morning, right, to these new students. So I think it's best if they just get the same lesson that they do online. They get that lesson, the same lesson they do physical. They get that lesson and they project it online. So now, so the students can get the same result. And then there's probably going to have to be interactions. Will the kids who are doing the virtual learning, will they be able to interact with the teacher? Will they be able to ask their questions?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm saying.
Just know about medical.
So one of the other things, as we talk about at the top, we're talking about the transportation and how the transportation system is going to be affected. But what about implementing? More schools implementing a school bus system, right? Are schools going to be able to do that? Could the government use some of the JUTC buses? Probably those that are parked. I'm not sure if they have any of those. Could they now use those in terms of a school bus system, where those buses, say a bus for Calabar, and those buses will run and only pick up Calabar students? Or would it be better if you are going to do that, to just pick up students? So only students and teachers will be able to, more buses that is only students and teachers are going to be taking those buses. So to reduce congestion. And then what about special needs kids?
We're gonna have a special needs bus because special needs kids don't mingle with ordinary children. They always separate them.
But how do you monitor special needs kids?
Special needs kids now, people is gonna have to do things for them.
How are you going to get them to keep on the mask?
Them to keep on the mask. Some of them will keep on the mask, man. Can you have someone who desperately sick and I don't know what they're going to be doing with the rest. But special needs children, you have to pay special attention to them.
Okay.
And the early childhood.
What about so what about parents who will now be taking the opportunity, because I think the government said they are making provisions for persons to keep their children at home and not send them to school. Keep their children at home as long as the learning process continues. Is that you have any confidence?
They have to get a teacher for monitor them because
somebody has to be monitored.
Yeah, because some trained person
needs to be monitored.
Yeah, because sometimes the children, the
kids will not be
parents can't be there, and having a nanny with special needs children, they gonna be learning process, especially as some special needs children learn themselves, like watching the TV. So you have to make sure you have some learning process in there to make them watch.
Right. So no, with all
they're not gonna understand if they have to wash them, and so they're gonna be somebody there from time to time
to make sure that they wash their hands,
to take their hands and wash it, put on them.
But if you're there by themselves,
if they're chewing, depends on little girl or little boy chewing heavily. I don't know they're gonna do that part there. That's why some of them need to stay home. Yeah, because they're chewing.
Okay.
Engagement, one of the most important keys to help your YouTube channel grow, and also one of the hardest to gain. But how can you gain engagement and easily grow your channel? Meet YT Monster, the leading exchange platform for YouTube. Now you can grow in 3 simple steps. 1. Buy credits or earn them by engaging with others. 2. Use your credits to increase views, subscribers, likes, and comments. 3. Lean back and watch your channel grow. So stop worrying how to get new fans. Make it easy. Sign up on ytmonster.net today.
Now, this is the all-important question now. How do you think that this reopening of school, how is it going to affect our cases? I mean, our cases are at 920 right now. When school reopen, do you think there will be a rising cases?
I think so, and I hope not, because I am trying to,
because remember, we are reopening school, but it's something that we are going to be doing for the first time, and then there's going to be resistance. People are going to say wear a mask, and it's going to be very difficult to have enough manpower to enforce.
And you have some children, here, wear masks and then take off their masks, they have it on them Friday, they have it under them chin or whatever, just like the adults. So I think it's going to be a rising situation.
As I said, it's probably going to be necessary. As I said before, in terms of the bus system, if we could separate the children from the adult, it would be excellent, because in terms of the cases, because if cases break out, contact tracing will be very difficult.
Like my niece don't travel with adults. She travel with other children because there's a bus her mother. The lady, they call her, everybody say Auntie Sandra. Auntie Sandra
carries her to
a little small bus where she full in the morning children, and she carry them. Some of them she drop them off at the gate, and you understand. So them now mingle
with the adults,
and sometimes you will see one or two teachers in there, but not in all cases. I mean, right now.
What would be the status quo when a teacher is at home? Right? What should a teacher be doing? when he or she is at home. Because yes, when you're at school, you know, you put on your shield and your mask, so you have on your apron and whatnot, and your gloves and whatnot. And that's cool. But what do you do when you're at home? Should you be doing that too? Should you be separating yourself from your family and exposing yourself to minimal
depends.
amount
You keep
of
your
people?
place, you're surrounded clean.
Because remember, you know, if you are not protected at home, then any one of your family members could give you the virus.
Yeah,
and
but the thing is, you know who your family members are.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch them, you know if they have a cold, and you're trying not to. But you hand sanitize your hand, or you wash your hand often. You keep your surrounding clean.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying you should be not much difference.
No.
So what about
And if
testing
anything,
for
if you're
teachers?
sneezing or coughing, you put on your mask, you know.
Okay, so what about testing for teachers? How often should teachers be tested? Because remember, they are going to be a contact point for the students. They are the one who's handling the students. So how often should they be tested? Should they go to systematic testing just because they are in a certain position, or should they only be tested when they start to develop symptoms? Because I think that teachers should probably be tested every month or every 2 weeks, just to ensure that you don't have the virus. Because if you have the virus, especially if you are not showing any symptoms, and you give it to the little ones who have no immune system, they could get really, really sick. So you want to catch that as early as possible.
Well, I think they should be tested every 2 weeks.
Makes sense. Every 2 weeks you'd have to test them. So because they're coming in contact with students. Alright, so that was it from us. So we have talked about how we will reopen school, what will be the mask policy, about the uniformity of the mask, the virtual learning, how this will affect transportation, mask in early childhood, the requirement of students, teachers and parents and staff, if we can have a bus system, or if and how this will affect our cases. Which of you want to add something before we go?
Well, I wish them all the luck. I wish them good luck, because as you check through and go research through just with your mind and everything, you know it's gonna be a hard work, especially for caregivers.
But the thing that I hope for them is that they don't start off well, right? They don't start off and
then branch out,
and then they just burn out and a bother, because that's going to be very dangerous. However, good thing for Jamaica is that we are not seeing a lot of local cases, a lot of local spread. We are seeing mostly imported cases, except for 8 in Clarendon recently. But we're not seeing a lot of local spread, and that might get people a bit comfortable and let them relax a bit, and that's when the virus is going to sneak in behind, you know. So we just hope and pray, students, parents, teachers, staff, everybody, don't start the year good, don't start the school year well, and then once a couple months or a couple of weeks has passed, run out of steam and then, you know, abandon the whole thing. So that's what I think should happen in terms of to make this thing work. Because yes, kids need to go back to school, but they also need to be safe. Right. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you again next time.